On behalf of all the members of the Skidaway Island chapter of the Coastal Conservation Association, welcome to the landings. Our island home is dotted with 151 lagoons, about half freshwater and half saltwater, that add to the natural beauty of our landscape, but also serve as important aquatic habitat for a wide range of native species and, notably, an extraordinary array of bird life, from ospreys and eagle to a range of herons and egrets. Over the years, the Skidaway chapter of the CCA has worked closely with the Landings Association to help ensure that our lagoons continue as healthy and diverse wildlife and fisheries habitats, while also providing great fishing for Landings residents and their guests. Volunteers from our local chapter annually monitor lagoon water quality and salinity, seine selected lagoons to determine the health and growth of various fish species, and over the years, we have stocked more than 250,000 fish in our waters while adding structures that enhance underwater habitat. Your local chapter is also active in promoting youth fishing and outdoor education. Our Castaway Club combines nature seminars at our Outdoor Education Center along with family fishing fun. Our kids' fishing lagoon is chock-a-block full of stock bluegills and hosts our annual Kids Fishing Derby. There are lagoons throughout the Landings property, so good fishing is never that far away. That's why we call it fishing a la carte. When you head out, keep in mind that fishing access is from shorelines on common property. Fishing is not allowed from shorelines that abut our golf courses. Also, keep an eye out. There well may be alligators both in freshwater and saltwater lagoons. That's one big reason why wading, swimming, rafting, or boating is prohibited in all our lagoons. Georgia fishing rules and regulations apply. You can go online to gooutdoorsgeorgia.com and follow the prompts for license information. So what species of fish are in our lagoons? Our headliner act is one of America's favorite game fish, the largemouth bass. We also have a variety of panfish, including bluegill, red ear sunfish, and black crappie. Carp and bullhead catfish are around as well. So where should I be casting my lure or bait? As a general rule, cast close to any structure, such as a partially submerged log or branch, a brushy shoreline that juts out into the water, aquatic vegetation, and our artificial structure designated by our duck decoys that float above. These types of areas provide food, shelter, and shade for fish. If there's no obvious structure, look for vegetation and tree branches that hang out over the water. Bass will often hold tight to the bank of these shaded spots. So what type of tackle do I need? A 6 to 7 foot spinning rod rated for 6 to 12 pound test with an open face spinning reel will be your best bet. Look for one of the many matched rod and reel combos available from major retailers such as Bass Pro. These go from about $50 to $130. If you're fishing mainly for panfish, consider a lightweight spinning combo rod and reel rated for line weights of between 4 and 6 pound test. So, what about baits and lures? When choosing a bass lure, a rule of thumb is that light colors, such as white, light green, and silver, work well in clear water. Dark colors, such as black, dark green, and purple, will do best in dark water and low light conditions. There are a huge number of types and styles of bass lures, but these three are consistent producers and are easy to fish. An artificial worm hooked in the middle is known as a wacky worm. The tails of the worm flutter as it sinks through the water column, an action bass find irresistible. This rig doesn't really imitate anything in nature, but I guess that's why they call it wacky. One of the most productive bass lures of all time, the arbogast hula popper, elicits exciting topwater strikes. Its concave mouth creates fish-attracting popping sounds along with a bubble trail. Pop or twitch it slowly, especially around weed beds. Also high on the list of the most reliable bass lures is a spinnerbait that mimics a baitfish. These cast and retrieve lures allow you to cover a lot of water to determine where the fish are, both in shallow and deeper water. Spinnerbaits are largely snag-free, so they can also be worked in heavy cover, such as submerged vegetation. For our bluegill and other panfish, these three classic lures are top producers. The Rapala ultralight minnow is easy to fish and covers a lot of water. The Rebel wee frog is a great topwater choice, and the Rebel crickhopper can be worked on the surface or a few feet down. Baits are often the preferred way of fishing for panfish. Excellent choices include night crawlers, which should be cut up into small sections that just cover the hook, redworms, crickets, canned corn, as well as mealworms. When using these baits, snap a plastic bobber several feet above the hook and pinch on a split shot or two between the hook, size 6 to 10, and bobber. If fishing in deeper water, slide the bobber up towards the rod tip. So which lagoon should I fish? Your local CCA chapter has put together and annually updates its popular lagoon guide, which includes maps with the location of each lagoon identified by a unique number. The guide also contains a variety of additional fishing information and a knot tying guide. The guide is available with a $10 donation to the CCA Fishing and Youth Development Fund. Please contact Hal Evans at the email and phone number you see on the screen. The CCA is a national nonprofit association dedicated to ensuring the health and conservation of our marine resources and anglers' access to them. For more information on membership, please contact Pat Brooks at the email and phone number you see on the screen. We hope you enjoy your time outdoors at one of our island's lagoons, and that on your very next cast, you catch the big one.